Hello and welcome, Vidya. I'm so excited that you're here and that you're going to share a little bit of your entrepreneurial journey with us. And before we dive in, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, I am so excited to be here sharing my experience. But I'm Vidya Ramachandran. I'm an empowerment coach. Um, and I can go into more of how Kristen helped me get to that. Yeah, I work with women who are feeling like they've lost their sense of self. They feel like they're on this path they might not have chosen. And I really help them stand up for who they are, what they want, really be more, in a nutshell, just more unapologetically themselves.
Yes. Oh, I love this. Where were you when I was stuck in my 10 years of hell in consulting? I definitely needed you then.
Where was I when I was stuck in my
Right?
years of corporate?
So good. And I love how our stories are similar in a lot of ways. And so I want us to go back to like the moment you chose to work with me and for us to work on your business. Where were you? What were you doing? How were you feeling? Tell us all the things.
Yeah, so I will say I have the privilege of actually being friends with Kristen before. So I knew her for a few years before.
Yep.
Um, I had been so when I actually like reached out to her to say, can we talk about coaching? I had been consulting. So I'd left like working in corporate America as an employee, and I had been consulting. And I think I knew I was not happy with consulting. I had started a couple years before tiptoeing as a career coach, working on people's resumes, doing a couple clients here and there, and was really enjoying that over being in that still corporate environment, doing market research, which is where the bulk of my career has been. And I wanted to actually turn this into my main stream of revenue.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when I reached out, I literally had no structure around anything. I think I was still accepting checks from people. And
I forgot about
I,
that.
yeah, yes. And it really was, I had no way of getting in front of people. I was literally like, I met someone through college, my college alumni group, and they recommended me to someone. So I really had no structure, no pathway actually. And it was very overwhelming just seeing what all is out there.
Oh yes,
And
absolutely. I get that. And you were a powerhouse in your consulting career. You were hardcore successful, traveling around the world, working on really big projects, international projects. And so it wasn't that you weren't doing amazingly. It just similar to me, right? It wasn't fulfilling, right? So
yes, yeah, that was a thing, right? Like there are parts of it that I really loved, like the travel, the people I worked with. But when I thought about, is this what I want to be doing until I retire? I just felt that cringe. I was like, no, there's got to be something outside of this environment that I can be doing that lights me up.
yes, beautiful. And so we've been working together for a while now, maybe 2 years, year and a half ish. And in
I
that
think we're
time,
about our 2-year mark.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
I think we are.
Yeah, and in that time, you have done so much. I was, when I was preparing for our call today, I was thinking about how you just the structure you've built, how you're online, you're, comfortable in video, right? You're doing your sales stuff, even how you created a bigger package. You went from one off to like a full
Mm,
package, and then you pivoted, right? Now you're an empowerment coach, not just a career coach, right? And so much more. And I don't want to give it all away before I even ask you the question. But tell us, where are you now? What has changed in both a tangible way, but also, the less tangible things?
yeah. So tangibly, a lot of what you said, right? Like I had no sales structure. I don't even remember the conversations that I had with people that made them said yes. Like, one of the first things you helped me with was creating and practicing this sales structure. Also, even just little things like yes, I had a website and I had an email list, but I wasn't doing anything with it. So you encouraging me to get online and start doing those Facebook Lives, which I will tell you, everyone, I was terrified of doing.
And now you do it
I
every
remember I
week.
was like shaking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it started out with you were like 90-day challenge. Let's try this. And now it's been, over a year and a half. So, things like that, getting my name out there, doing consistent weekly newsletters to my email list, which is growing it's growing slowly, but it's growing.
Yeah.
And, just offering classes, coming up with different ways that I can get get what I do out there so that people know that I can help them, especially if they're feeling like, who my ideal client is.
Yeah, connecting with your dream clients, right? People you can help and who want the help and who are
Yes.
ready, right? Ready and willing to
Yes.
invest and to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So those are just a few. There are so many more, but those were just like I would say the key things that really started me right off the bat in in
We're back after a little tech glitch. But what I was going to say before that happened was you're not giving yourself nearly enough credit. And by the way, that is normal for entrepreneurs. But a couple of the things you did that I really want to brag on you raised your prices to actually be aligned with
yes.
all the value you're offering. So you raised the prices and then you also created a package, right, that is going to be even more helpful for your clients. And so that was a huge thing, right? Because we know money and value and worth, all of that is really scary.
Yes.
And then number two, you didn't even mention you launched your first group program and it was a success.
That's right. That's right. I completely. So this is the other reason when you talk about intangibles, this is one of the intangibles is because when we are trying to get through just our day or, we forget how much we're actually doing. And so having someone in our corner to remind us of that is so helpful.
Yes.
And needed. So thank
It's
you.
one of my favorite things, as you know. And, even, and this is something that, a lot of coaches, a lot of people go into business for themselves, right? Walking your own talk, right? You have a program, Unapologetically You, right? And you every day are more and more unapologetically you,
Yes.
which I
Yes.
love to see. And so next question, tell me about your favorite parts or surprising parts, anything about our coaching. This is like your wild card question, anything you want to share here.
I would say there's so much, but some of the key things that come to mind, top of mind, is one, you are the queen of grounding and structure for me because yes, I do love structure in certain areas of my life, but I can also very easily swing to the spiritual, all of this stuff that, people talk about manifesting. And I've been really learning a lot about that in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And so bringing me back and keeping me balanced. And so that our calls go in the support in between our calls goes in between like tactical and the mindset work that is so key in. And it's so funny because there's a lot of it that I have no trouble doing with my clients, but when it comes to myself, it's like I've got blinders on and I forget, right? So it's really having the both ends of, okay, let's back into what our launch plan is going to be and how we're going to approach this, but also let's talk about these other challenges and what's underneath that, right? So I would say that is one of the biggest benefits of working with you is having that almost holistic or full circle support versus just like this one little piece of
I love that.
figuring out how to run my business.
I love that. Yes, you are in flow. You are the creative, very much in your feminine. My default is practical, right? More in the masculine. And I mean, as you know, I am very holistic. I think it's important. Yes, we need to do the tactical things. Yes, we need to take action. And quite honestly, none of that matters if our mind isn't right. None of that matters if we're not taking care of ourselves, right? And why not add a little magic to the mix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll also say another thing that I really loved is the fact that you do offer messaging in between sessions, because not a lot of coaches that I've seen offer that. And so um, it's that added like, um, it's just that, like, again, that sense of like, okay, if I'm struggling with something, I don't have to wait until my next call. I can reach out and get the support I need.
I love it. So good. I mean, I teach my clients and I do the same to create the package that we wish someone would do for us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't found a coach who does exactly what I want, but it will happen. And great point, right? That coaches have coaches too. I have a business coach, right?
Yes.
I have personal development coaches, right? And I know you do too. So, it's important, right? Whatever your work is, that you're also continuing to do the work yourself. So
Yes.
beautifully said.
Yes. Oh, can I just say one more thing? The
Yes.
other thing I love, and I know, again, I really love that you remind me that I have agency, or I have my own sovereignty, and that I don't have to blindly follow what you recommend. Like, I can, and this is because this is really big when I work with my clients. I'm always like, let's experiment. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, let's try something else. And I really love that, because I have seen coaches out there who are like, this is the way and you have to follow this. And you're not like that. You let us try things. If it doesn't work, I love the try it for at least 90 days
Yes.
to see
Give
if
it a
it
chance.
works. But if it doesn't, you're not like, okay, then you're on your own. Like, you work with us to help us find our own path and our own voice.
I love, love, love that you said that, because why go into business just to basically find someone else to tell you what to do? The reason we don't want, right, to work in corporate forever, consulting or whatever, is because we do want our own agency. We do want to take control and responsibility and all the fun that goes with that. So
Yes.
I love it. And by the way, if there is ever a coach that says this is the only way, run. Run far. And let's see, last question. If someone is considering Job Joy for entrepreneurs, working together especially to help them go from corporate to entrepreneurial pursuits, whether it's a side hustle, full time, what advice would you give them?
Go for it. And really, because again, the reason I think I was hesitant, and I was dipping my toe in it, I knew there was something better out there for me. But what resonated with working with you, or deciding to work with you, was that you had also done it a few years before I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, the one thing I've learned and I've done a lot of career shifts in my career. I almost actually I was in a PhD program, I dropped out. And what I learned from that, and what I think you've also mentioned too, is you want to speak with someone, or you want to get the insights from someone who's been there, but not so far out that they've forgotten what the challenges are, and that's exactly what happened to me. Is like, when I thought about going to academia, spoke with a few people who loved it, but they were also so far on their career, they didn't remember what it was like to get tenure. And so similarly, like, you've been through that, you know what the pitfalls are to watch out for, what the bright spots are that we need to remember and, appreciate. And that, to me, is also one of the big reasons that I decided to work with you.
I love that. Such good advice, even in general, right? Don't work with someone if they haven't done what you want to do before. Right? Or if they don't have the type of life that you want, right? So important. And in conclusion, if people want to connect with you, where can they find you? What's the best place?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. I'm starting to really love Instagram. Thanks to Kristen recommending that I check it out.
My favorite.
I'm on Instagram. I'm Vidya, VIDYA.R.WARRIER. And you can check out my website, vidyawarrior.com. Again, that's VIDYAWARRIER.com.
Yes. And I will put links to that below this. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vidya, for sharing your story and just being an inspiration for all of us, showing us what is possible when we launch our own
Thank you.
business. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.